Hey everybody, welcome to the Whole Package by Premier Packaging. I'm your lovable host, Billy Watkins, and I am joined today by Paul Cunningham. Paul, nice to see you.
Nice to meet you, Billy.
We just met today. A couple of things. Let me unpack this before we get going. I've never done one of these this late at night. So I'm a little worried. We are at the international sales meeting at the moment, and you were kind enough to join us for the podcast. So thank you.
Thank you. It's an honor.
We talked a little bit beforehand. You mentioned that you actually are a fan of the podcast. You actually watch the podcast.
Big fan. Big fan of the podcast.
I thank you for that. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What'd you do to get here?
Yeah, so I grew up in Valparaiso, Indiana. Went to high school there and went to college at a small private school to play baseball in a town called Rensselaer, Indiana.
Okay.
From Rensselaer, Indiana, I did a little bit of a stint at Purdue University. I didn't go to school at Purdue, but I did a little bit of commuting from West Lafayette to Rensselaer after the baseball days were over, and then here we are.
What drew you to working in sales? I think it's something I've noticed. There's a lot of guys that a lot of folks that do sports that are in athletics, I think, end up getting into sales. Am I off there, or is that?
No, not at all. Actually, it's kind of one of the biggest things that drew me to sales. Is inevitably, as an athlete, you're extremely competitive. Sales is somewhat competitive. Actually, it's very competitive. Yeah. And there's a willingness to win. And that really is what drew me in. I started doing sales early on in the college days, doing selling cutlery. Some of you may know the brand.
Oh, I've got them in my drawer. Yeah, and they're amazing. The scissors still cut the dime in half.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Am I wrong there?
Yes.
We're talking about the same thing.
Absolutely.
I want to say the brand, but I'm not. But yeah, man, I love those things.
Yeah, so I was kind of naturally, put into a sales environment, and, fast forward however many years, 15, 16, 17 years, I'm still doing it and I still love it. I have a passion for it, and yeah, it's kind of. So
before you came to Premier, you've been here a little of a year-ish plus, something like that. You were at a national office supply company. You got here. What made you think Premier's where I want to be?
Yeah, so I, as you mentioned, I worked for a large office products company for over a decade. That office products company had decided to get into the industrial packaging space. And I was part of kind of the pilot. It wasn't really a pilot, but I was part of the kind of beginning stages of kind of building that program off, building it up, and had a lot of success with it. I developed a love and passion for packaging, and about 3.5, 4 years, give or take, into it, that organization decided to get out of industrial packaging, and the whole organization was essentially laid off. And I was fortunate that I was not let go right away. I was given quite a lengthy runway, so I kind of knew what to expect and when my time was going to be coming to an end. And I actually had some opportunities to stay on board and continue my tenure there, but it wasn't packaging. Right. And so I had decided that I was going to, move forward with the exit from the business. And in doing so, some of the manufacturer supplier partners that we worked with had kind of put some feelers out there to some of the bigger packaging companies, and which I'm very, very fortunate for. And Premier happened to be one of the packaging companies that my name was offered up to. And so Premier had reached out to me and invited me down to Louisville for a trip. Kind of the rest was history. I mean, obviously there was a lot of things that happened in between then, and I had some opportunities to work and go to some other packaging companies, but there was something about Premier, the value proposition, just kind of the roots of Premier that really, I felt like it was a really, really good fit.
What's the most challenging thing about sales? What do you get the big no, you get kicked in the teeth. How do you pick yourself up?
Well, Billy, those are never fun, but inevitably, it's part of sales. Sales is kind of can be a roller coaster. There's ebbs and flows of sales, and obviously you're not going to win every single deal that you're a part of. But I think the biggest thing, when you don't win a deal is, why didn't you win that deal? And ultimately learning from your mistakes. And maybe you did something during the sales process that you can kind of take a step back and say, wow, like maybe I screwed up there. And, you kind of build off of that and don't not to do that the next time, or just kind of, just build off of and learn from those mistakes. And it, ultimately just when you've gotten kicked down or, kicked in the teeth, get up, wipe the dirt off and keep going. You have to be resilient within sales, and there are going to be some tough weeks, some tough months, and it's just part of it.
What are our customers looking for right now? What's the big thing?
So, customers are always looking for the best products, the best solutions, at competitive prices, right? Everyone's price.
Yep.
But I think right now customers are ultimately, they want a partner. They want someone that understands their business, understands their needs, can help bring solutions to the table, can help with efficiency gains. And that really ties into the Premier value proposition of, we're always trying to look for ways to save customers labor, freight, damage, space, and material cost. And customers are looking for all of those facets for a packaging partner to be able to come in and help improve their current state. And so I think that's ultimately what a true partner is, what customers are value more than probably the price side of things.
That's good to hear. Because we've going before a pandemic, going through a pandemic, the craziness of business and the ups and downs that we've had because of that. What's the outlook like for this year in terms of sales and Premier?
Well, I think growth. We're always looking to grow. Look to invest more in our people, our resources, the manufacturing side. Looking to enhance, our current equipment to make it better. Potentially looking at maybe branching out to other locations. I'm not necessarily privy to some of those conversations, but I would think as Premier continues to evolve and grow, we will continue to scale and invest in our resources as well.
Yeah, you live in Indy. Do you make it out to the plant in Indy? I would assume, right?
I do. Yeah. It's a little bit of a trek. I'm on the opposite side of town. I'm up in the Northeast, and the plant's kind of more west. But yes, I do make it over to the plant from time to time, and it's cool to see your boxes run for your customers.
For sure,
and check in with the design lab, or pick up samples,
right.
And whatnot. So yeah, I do make it over there.
Being in Indy, being a Hoosier, if I can say that. I mean, that's have you ever been to the 500? It's written down as the greatest spectacle in racing. The guy that writes these is from Indianapolis, so it makes sense that he would say that, I think. But yeah, you ever been?
I have been to the Indy 500s several times.
And what are we talking? Louisville's got the Derby, and we all love it, and it's gorgeous, and the pomp and circumstance of that. And I think it's like 150,000 people or something like that, right? But the 500 is like, how many people are we talking about?
I don't know exactly.
Huge. It's way more than that, I think, right?
It is. It's the most people that I've ever seen, especially intoxicated people in one area that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's if you haven't experienced it, I think everyone should experience an Indy 500 in their lifetime. Young college days, I spent time doing the good old infield thing where it's you're not really there necessarily for the race.
Yeah.
You're there for all the other extracurriculars.
Yes.
But nowadays, I actually do, enjoy sitting in the grandstand and actually understanding what goes into the race and, watching the pits, which is super fascinating. It is really cool once you kind of like take in the race for what it is. It's pretty cool.
I'm too old for that now. I think if I'm not covered, if I'm not, and if the drinks aren't comped, no, thank you. Paul, I have one last question. One thing occurs to me as we're at the international sales meeting. We can go back out there. Do you have a guess? Well, I kind of like glasses, beard, and quarter zip. Quarter zip. So I thought we could go out and just count how many quarter zips we see out there.
It's funny that you say that because before I came to Premier, I was told from several folks that you like golf. I love golf. I play a ton of golf, and it's like Premier would be a really good fit for you then because there's a lot of people that love golf at Premier, and you go out there, you can definitely tell by what people are wearing that there's a lot of golfers out there.
Is that, and it's certainly, yes. I mean, golf and sales are kind of hand in hand, and a lot of good deals are made on a golf course, I'm sure. But it's just you don't I don't see that translating to other. I'm assuming there's a lot of plumbers that like to golf, but it's really kind of a sales thing.
It is. I wouldn't say as much as insurance sales. Some friends that are in insurance sales, I think their part-time job is playing golf. So definitely don't get out and play as much as what those guys do. But it is a nice perk, and it does seem to come with the territory.
It's that competitive mindset that you all have,
Certainly.
Paul, very nice talking to you today. Thank
likewise.
you for joining us and saying yes when they call. It's always good. And thanks for being a fan of the show.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
Thank you. It's full circle to be part of the whole package here.
One of the things that got you,
it's awesome. It's an honor to be asked to join the podcast. Hopefully, I didn't embarrass anyone or let the sales side of the organization down here. But no, it's been a true honor.
Good deal. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. I'm Billy Watkins for the whole package by Premier Packaging. Until next time, bye everybody.
Do you have comments, questions, or ideas about this topic? If so, we'd like to hear from you. Please visit primpack.com/podcast to let us know what you think. Thanks.